Hello there, it's me Sutonia with Eve is Easy, and this time I want to show you another full roam video, but this time it's going to be with a low skill point character. So you can see this guy here, Shark Prince 2001, which is a character I created 2 months ago. Has the best 13-year-old name I could think of, and this character is now actually 2 months old. He turned 2 months old actually during the roam I was on. And he has 2.5 million skill points, and I want to show you that you can roam and you can be effective with a few skill points, and I'm sort of just showing you a few skill points here. It doesn't really matter. I'll talk a bit about a few skills that you want to pick up as a newbie as we're traveling to 0-0 here. So I've got max fitting skills, engineering 5, or engineering management I think it's called now, or power grid management, and the CPU skill at level 5. That's what you need to fit this Kestrel, unfortunately. I've also got Kadawi Frigate 5, which is useful for a lot of fits, not just the Kestrel, but it unlocks 7 Tech 2 ships, as well as boosting 6 Tech 1 ships and 3 Pyrofaction ships. So Kadawi Frigate 5 is also another good skill you want to grab. The other 2 level 5 skills I have on this character are Rockets 5 for Tech 2 damage. I'm not actually using Tech 2 missiles at all on this Kestrel. It's just Tech 2 rocket launchers are actually a lot cheaper than the Metaphor launchers, and what you really want on this fit is DPS. And getting access to rocket specialization, because all of the missile skills use you get benefit to rate of fire instead of raw damage like the turret skills. You actually get a lot more benefit from the specialization skills, since rate of fire bonuses are more powerful than flat damage bonuses. Another skill, the last skill that I have level 5 is missile launcher operation 5. Didn't get it to 5 for the skill bonus, but I got it to 5 for the guided missile precision skill, which is incredibly useful. And because I'm primarily going to be hunting interceptors and frigates in my Kestrel, it's definitely a very powerful skill. Getting minus 15% signature radius on my missiles is going to help my damage application a lot. And the Kestrel fit itself is the one that I've flown a lot of times. I know I've mentioned the Kestrel a lot. I think it's a very good frigate for new players to use. And the reason for that is it's almost cap stable even with these trash skills that I have on this 2-month-old character, and you don't need to worry about your capacitor at all. There's nothing for you to micromanage at all. That's the beauty of the Kestrel. You basically just as soon as you start the fight, you basically just you can focus more on the macro aspects of the fight. You have nothing to micromanage. If you're in a fight against another frigate with a scram or even a disruptor, you're going to have your micro warp drive off, and you're going to have your scram and web on them. You're going to be either kiting them or approaching them, depending on what ship it is. Normally, you're going to be kiting them, and it gives you a lot more time to sort of focus on the macro aspects, like watching the directional scanner, seeing what else is happening, focusing on starting the fight, how you want to start the fight, that sort of thing. That's the benefit of the Kestrel, I think, for new players. Is there's just so little to worry about on the fit, on the micromanagement aspects of it. So I'm going to speed this up a bit. Another skill that is incredibly crucial that you want to get is thermodynamics level. Thermodynamics, because it just does so much. Thermodynamics is probably the single most important skill in PvP, and in a lot of areas of Eve, it's so strong. 15% more. It's actually more than 15% because it's a rate of fire bonus. I'm not sure what 15% rate of fire is. It's 1 over 0.85, so it's a 17.5 DPS bonus, which is pretty huge. And then you get the 20% bonus on the scram range, and you get 30% bonus on the web, and you get 15% more micro warp drive speed, which is huge. And it's very easy to get right now. You only need science to level 4. I wish it was energy operations level 4. I don't think it really makes sense to train a industry skill to get a skill that's only useful in space. Maybe that's something CCP could change in the future. So about this roam, I'm roaming to this area in the south. The reason for that is because it's quiet, and because my skills are a bit lacking, I don't really want to go into an area where there's a lot of pilots, because it's much harder for me to kill ships as fast as I do in the proper fit Kestrel. Speaking of skills on this character, I normally run a 2 damage rig Kestrel, but because my character isn't skilled enough, I'm actually running 1 damage rig and a power grid rig. You need advanced weapon upgrades or shield upgrades level 5 to run this Kestrel, which I do not, to run the Kestrel fit that I normally use, which I do not have on this character. Again, I think the Kestrel is a very strong frigate for new players, and it's a very competitive frigate in PvP. It's a ship that a lot of people still underestimate, despite all the good praise that I've given it. So you can get a lot of good fights, and I think you can kill most interceptors in the Kestrel, which is what I'm going to be looking to fight. Anyway, we're heading towards 0-0 now, and we're almost there. I'm not too worried about scouting and that sort of thing, because I've checked out the map beforehand and I know that it's pretty dead. In the skills that are, in terms of new player, if you're a new player in EVE, or maybe you do something else, you're interested in getting into PvP, but your skill set is more focused on mining, or maybe you're more battleship focused, or you're an explorer or something like that. The skills that I'd recommend to get first are thermodynamics, and then you want to focus on DPS. I'd recommend getting your DPS to above 100. For a frigate, you definitely want more than 100 DPS, I think, for roaming in nullsec. I think that's the bottleneck, at least in my opinion, but I'm sort of a person who overvalues DPS, I think, a lot of times. But you definitely need the DPS to be able to kill people before their friends can show up. And then the navigation skills are also very important, because they help splitting up, and they help you avoid gate camps and getting back to gates and that sort of stuff. So when you talk about this roam a bit more, I'm going into this system where there's 8 people in local. I open up the directional scanner and I set group to sort ascending. What this does is it has the ore sites at the top of the scanner, so it's very easy to just click and go there. As you can see, there's no actual ore sites in this system. There's actually no anomalies at all, which means it's either a staging system or people are just doing random stuff in this non-upgraded system. So I walk to the sun to check it out, see what's in this system. I see a bunch of Ishtars and a Loki, as well as a Serb, so I assume that these are just PvPers that are sitting in a POS or something along those lines. So I decided I want to move on and go somewhere that's a bit more active. It was 5 AM in the morning, my time, when I was recording this, which is sort of late US. So almost time where Australians get back. I think it's about 2 hours before then. So it's a bit of a quiet time in EVE. So we're roaming somewhere more where there's a bit more action, hopefully. And if you're a new player, it's always better. I think it's a bit better to sort of hang around NPC areas so you can dock and rep and also try out the low activity areas first, because you're more likely to get a decent fight there. But if you don't get a decent fight there, then go towards the high activity areas, because in my opinion it's better to die to a camp or something than to just not find anything. So whenever there's no one in local, I always just walk to the gate at 0. I think this is pretty standard. I don't have any ping spots on this character because I have actually I haven't flown this character on a roam properly ever, so I have absolutely no bookmarks or assets or anything like that. Well, I think something interesting happens very soon, so I'm just speeding this up a bit. So we see a Helios here. I approach and see if I can maybe try and see if he will fight me or if he's a scout or something, but he jumps, so I just decided I'm just going to walk to the next gate. Chance of killing a Helios is very low because you know, it can always just warp cloak, but getting him to see me and showing that I'm sort of interested in fighting might be good, because if he has alliance mates around or something like that, then maybe I can bait out a fight. So I jump into local and I check this guy out and check out his bio, and he was in the same alliance as the Helios, so I warp to a belt instead of the gate directly, just to be on the safe side, just because I don't know what this guy's in, and I'm not sure about this area space. He might be in a saber or an interdictor or something like that. But there's nothing here, so we're just going to continue to go. I see that he jumped. I didn't actually check the directional scanner. That's one of the things I should have done, is scanned to see if there was something else. But I was sort of like half asleep, half AFK when I was recording this. So I jump in and there's a Manticore off the gate. And he's actually reapproaching the gate with AB on, which is kind of interesting. So I micro warp drive to him, and he actually points me and tries to fight me. So I decide to fight him. Stealth Bomber is obviously very vulnerable to frigates. It doesn't apply almost any of its DPS to you, and they have very light tanks. Should be careful of bombs, but I'm not sure if a bomb can, unless he like properly catches you while you have MWD on, you're not going to die to a bomb. You know, we jump in and kill this Manticore that decides to fight me, and so first blood for our 2-month-old character. And if you just fly around like this, you'll end up finding fights like this. A lot of people disrespect you if you're flying a Tech 1 frigate like this and you're a low SP character. So this guy, 2007 character, and just killed a ship that's worth 4 times what our ship is worth. And this character has been playing. Oh, sorry, it's a 2011 character. I read that wrong. This character has been playing for 15 times longer than us. 36 months versus our 2 months, and we've already got a kill, which is great. You don't need a lot of skill points to get fights and kills in EVE. You just need the right tactics and the right ship. So we see a brand new character from the same alliance just entered local. So I'm sort of just waiting to see what it might be, and it's actually a nemesis, and I see if maybe he'll fight me, but he doesn't, and local goes up again. I sort of hang around to see what it is. I know he didn't jump from here, but then I see a Tyrannus directional scanner. So I burn off the gate and try and see if the Tyrannus will come in here to fight me, because I know the nemesis saw me and he probably reported me. I burn off the gate just so the Tyrannus will have to burn for me, and it makes it a bit easier for me to dictate the engagement. And if the nemesis has some weird E-war, it's not going to affect me if he also comes into the fight, and it also gives me more opportunity to see what other ships might be coming in. But unfortunately, it doesn't fight me, so I decided to move on. I could have gone back into that system to try and provoke the fight if he was still there. But I decided it was better to move on. We got quite a few people in local here, so I warped to the sun. The sun is always a good spot to warp to because it's in the center of the system, and since most anomalies and other things spawn within 5 AU of a planet, but how solar systems and EVE are structured is that the planet, the planet 1, planet 2, planet 3, planet 4, planet 5, all the early planets are always very close to the sun. So by warping to the sun, you get a lot of the system on your directional scanner. So it's a good tool to sort of check the overall what's sort of going on in the system. So we continue onwards. We jump into FAT, which is kind of a staging area for Northern Coalition. I warped to a gate and there was a bubble on this gate. Probably should have checked it with the directional scanner because there's a good chance there could have been another bubble on this gate. And I checked the scanner and the station was on the scanner and there was nothing really on scan, so I decided to continue on. Fighting people in the HQ systems while I'm in a low SP character is probably a bit harder than what I'd like. So right now I'm sort of going deep into catch towards where Brave Collective are. And Brave Collective are a great alliance to fight because they also have some younger characters, so I can probably get a closer fight in this lower SP character. And there's two very active systems here, but it's away from the main pipe of catch, which is normally camped by a lot of terrible remote sensor booster camps. So what I'm sort of hoping by going here is that I can annoy some PvEers or miners or those sort of characters and get a bunch of people come out and fight me. I see an Atron on scan, but it warps off and didn't see where it goes, so I jump into here, which is sort of my first destination, and there's only a few combat anomalies on scan, and there's nothing else on directional scanner. I see a stabber come on scan, so I decide to leave. Stabber is very dangerous to my newbie Kestrel because I believe I only go just under 2.4 kilometers a second, so I only have navigation level 3 and acceleration control level 3, and a stabber with max skills is about that fast. So I jump into this system EX6 and there's a load of stuff on scan, but I think a lot of it's a POS because there's only 21 in local. And I was trying to find this procurer, but I jumped and there was a crow that he ends up jumping with me. So what I do is I just approach the gate just to sort of see what he does, and he ends up just brawling me, so I decide to fight him. Even though the crow is a Tech 2 ship, it's because it's an interceptor, it doesn't have a lot of hit points, or it's about the same sort of combat strength as you. The only advantage is it has a longer point and it's a lot faster. But in terms of overall strength, the Kestrel is stronger. And because it's a light missile crow, which for some reason decided to brawl us down, we're able to kill it very quickly, and that's the second ship that we've killed in our 7 million ISK Kestrel, flown by a 2-month-old character. So I sort of align out to this belt just to see if anything jumps through the gate, and I sort of prepare to jump back into this system to see if I can find something else or get a new fight, because this seems, if that other system is very busy and it's a staging system, sort of hanging around one jump out is a very good idea, because I can sort of a lot of traffic's going to pass through and see me, and they're going to report me, and then hopefully people are going to come and fight me. So I was sort of thinking about trolling a little bit because I'm in a 2-month character. Anyway, I jump into a camp which has a Dicta, Thrasher, Crow, and a Vexer, which actually jumps. I actually messed up the approach on this because my overloading key was on a different. I didn't actually set it on this character, but I jump in a 2% structure, which is awesome. And that's another example of why the navigation skills are so important. I only have them at level 3, but if I had the right key on overload, I would have also made it back to the gate. But when you make super awesome escapes like that in 2-month-old characters, it's really awesome. And I sort of panic warped to the top belt just to warp as fast as I can, just so I was pretty lucky that I didn't decloak closer than 20 kilometers off the Eris, but I could have gotten away from the Eris if I just overloaded MLG and ran away from him, because all of his friends were aggressed on the other side. So I'm just changing the overloading key. I really recommend you, when you reapproach the gate, that you set a key for overload mid-rack, and you press that, then you press the hotkey for your micro warp drive, and that's the result that I have the most success with. I really wish CCP would allow you to preheat while under gate cloaks. That'd be super useful. So this is a mistake that, well, not really a mistake that I made, but you'll see why low SP is a problem in a second. So I brought these mobile depots with me, and I'd really recommend you do this. And what I was going to do is going to rep my armor and structure, but in my infinite wisdom, I forgot that this character does not have repair systems trained, nor does it have well, it's the same skill, but I don't actually have whole repair systems trained on this character, so I can't actually rep in this safe spot. So I decided to go back to Delve, and I'm going to speed this up quite a bit because not too many interesting things happen on the way back. Well, hopefully the recording won't destroy itself in the process. So I'm sort of debating about whether or not I should rep in Stain or not, because Stain has DSS, which is only like I think 8 jumps away from where I am, and it's very close to Brave HQ, but it's also likely to be camped, especially those guys, those sound guys who were camping my Kestrel earlier. There's a good chance that they would move their dictators and their camp to block me off from there, and just that area in general is usually very highly contested and camped a lot. So I decided to go back to Delve because I knew the route was pretty safe because I came from there, and also because Delve is very quiet right now, and Delve also has a lot of stations that are sort of in close proximity of each other. So if one is camped, you can just go to the next system. So sort of just check the map, make sure there's no active pockets on the way there, because that would normally signify a camp. So I jump into FAT again, but I remembered that I saw that bubble that was off the gate, so I walked to the planet first, just to be careful, because there was a Munin on scan, and you know, if the Munin was camping the gate and I landed in the bubble, I'd die. So just make full speed back to Delve. The new cloaking effect is really cool. There's a lot of people in this system, but this was also, I knew that because I was in the system before that it was active, and we saw those 2 Dominixes before, but everything else was had a POS or docked up. This system is a bit more active than I remember. I decided to swap to the Outgate at 0 anyway though, because they had sort of minor names. There's not too much to say really. We're just sort of making best speed back to Delve. I'm not too worried about running into camps, because you know we've already ran all of this route except for up to now on our way here, and we knew it wasn't camped. And you can just, you know, in combination of the map and just common sense and general awareness, you can tell that the route is pretty safe. You jump into K-6, there's actually a lot of people in here, and I didn't see that on the map, so that means that they're probably docked up, but it is a very active system. And I believe I jump into a Sabre at this point. Let's see. Oh no, maybe it's the next. Maybe it's a different gate. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different time. So Delve is an NPC region, but it's kind of weird in the sense that it's got 2 constellations that have NPC stations in there that anyone can dock at, but it also has player stations in the other I think 6 or 7 constellations that are in Delve. But Delve is a great place for basing out of for roaming into Catch, because this side of Catch isn't camped as much. And Delve gives you the ability to dock up. So I decided to, I'm going to sort of make my way back there. I noticed that there's 2 new people in this system. And we also saw 2 people before traveling, so this is actually a pretty active system. And I see an Ares on the gate, so I jump, see what's on the other side first, and there's actually nothing on the other side. I probably should have used the directional scanner here, that's a mistake by me, but I just sort of double click in space to see what the Ares will do, and I see he's kind of coming at me, and so I just decided to go for him. Areses don't do much damage at all. They have 3 turrets, and they have 2 damage application bonuses, but they don't actually have a direct damage bonus, and they only have 3 turrets, so you can take them down pretty effectively in a Kestrel. You want to orbit them at range if they have blaster sphere, as you can see here, light neutron blaster. If it has rails, it does little damage, and you're going to win the DPS war, sort of the tank and spank war with it. And a stabber sort of comes in now, and I'm sort of derping around because it's so late for me in the morning. But this stabber gets a point on me. What you want to do is you want to just stay calm and align out to a celestial that's away from him and overload. And even though this even though I'm have pretty bad navigation skills in this Kestrel, I'm able to get away from the stabber. I could have avoided the stabber as well if I was not half asleep while playing Eve. That's our 3rd kill. Killed an Ares now, which is Again, another 20 million or so ship. Almost triple what our ship costs. This Kestrel costs 7 million ISK. So I decide to go back there just to see if I can get the loot. And also because I can repair my ship in 319. And I see there's a Vex in Miasmos now. So just jump. Miasmos is normally bait. It's the bait hauler. The Vex decides to follow me, but he's not going to be able to catch me because I'm in a frigate. And we can see that there's quite a few people active here. We've got a Vexer and a Stabber, and also I presume someone in a bait hauler. And you can see locals just popping, you know, these guys following me. So this is a great place for me to PvP right now. I've got the locals interested, and they know they're going to need a frigate or something to catch me. So I was just checking out this guy, and you can see he's a 2007 pilot. So this guy's actually, I don't know if he's taken any breaks or not, but he is a 7-year-old pilot, and I killed him in my 2-month-old Kestrel. And that's the great thing about Eve. As long as you outplay them and have a better ship or fit than them, then you can kill someone who's played for years longer than you with a Tech 2 ship. So I decided now is probably a good time to get rid of the loot that I had and rep my ship. Oh no, I didn't drop off the loot, which is bad. You should always drop off the loot that you have when you're in an NPC station. But I undock and I see there's an Imperial Navy Slicer here. I was kind of hoping that the Imperial Navy Slicer would follow me. It's a ship that typically it's a very strong ship at kiting, but it doesn't get a tracking bonus. Normally people fit oversized guns on it. So if you can start the fight with it about 1 kilometer, you can just orbit it, and it won't be able to track you, even in a Kestrel, which has a pretty big signature radius. So I warped to the sun, and what I was doing was sort of hoping that the Imperial Navy Slicer would follow me. And what happens now is a sort of cat and mouse game, which very often happens in 0-0. So I walk back at range to see if he's here, and he's gone or he's docked up or something. So I decided to go back into D-3. See quite a few core scanner probes in system. That's just the other people in local. If you don't have probes on your overview, you should add them. Just it's useful to be able to see them, because it can tell you about what activities people are doing in system, and you can also see combat scanner probes to see if you're being scanned out at a safe spot. I decided to reapproach the gate and just see if that Imperial Navy Slicer would come out, or if I could get a fight with him. Decided to go back. See a prophecy on scan, and it's the Imperial Navy Slicer pilot. So I'm sort of just waiting at range, hoping he's gonna dock up and bring out the Slicer again. And at the very least, he's gonna report that I'm sitting at a perch off, and you see local just went up by 2. Local's gone up by 3 now. Anyway, he docks up, so what I'm hoping is the Imperial Navy Slicer is going to be coming out. You always should be checking your directional scanner when new locals are coming in. I see a Malediction on dock, which is a good fight for me. But I'm checking directional scanner, and I see, oh, Stabber's coming on directional scanner, and he's coming 1 million kilometers away. So I know that the Stabber is in warp to that Malediction. So instead of firing him, I warp to the sun. And by keeping an eye on the directional scanner, you can avoid ganks like that. Decide to to put a bit of a troll in local. As you can see, the stabbers here. Now there's also a tower here, which is a destroyer, which is also a very dangerous ship for my Kestrel. So what I want to do is try and split them up. I definitely want to fight this Malediction. Kestrel is very strong against Malediction. Malediction got nerfed very recently. It lost the light missile bonus, and also light missiles got nerfed. Overall, the Malediction lost something like 32% DPS with light missiles, so now it's more commonly fit with rockets. And when it comes to just a direct ball, the Kestrel is so much better than the Malediction. So I see there's a catalyst on scan now, which is also another ship that's very dangerous to me if it can get in range of where I am. I'm trying to find this Malediction to see where it has gone to. So I walk back to D-3 and I jump in just to see if, because I noticed he left local and he's actually here. So I approach the gate and see if he'll aggro me, but he actually jumps out. So I decide to follow him, and you see the catalyst lands on the gate now, and that's when he's going to try and decloak and tackle me. But I walk to the sun at 0. The sun is a good place to just walk to and hope someone will follow you. Splitting people up around planets is always a good idea. So I see that the Malediction has not followed me again, which is very annoying. I have thermal missiles loaded because they tend to be a bit better than about the same as explosive versus the armor on the Malediction. I think the explosive resistance is still lower, even though it's a Martech 2, which gives bonuses to explosive and kinetic damage resistances. But the thermal is a lot stronger against the shield, and he actually decides to come in for me at this point, and I see that there's nothing on directional scanner, and I probably should have slowed down this fight a bit. I'm really sorry. You can see here why DPS is so important and it's such a limiting factor. I'm very barely breaking him through his charges, as you can see. And technically speaking, I probably should, if I was trying to fight a very competitive Malediction, I'd probably try and kite him about 7-8 kilometers away so he can't use his Nosferatu on me. This Malediction doesn't have a Nos. But if I noticed the Nos effect, I would orbit at a further range. Otherwise, you both have the same identical weapon system, both have rockets. I was able to kill him as soon as he ran out of charges. That's the 4th ship down to 2.5 million skill point Kestrel. See if I can get a free pod here, but he actually whoops out. And that's a good example of splitting people up over a system. The tower, the stabber, and the catalyst are still all here. But they were waiting on a gate, so they weren't able to come in and help the Malediction. And there you have it, 4 ship kills. Paid for my ship with the loot that I got.